Welcome to the second part of our exploration into the metaverse with special guest Luke Lango. Start the countdown. Welcome back to the Investor Place Launchpad, where we take a look at trending investment ideas and try to rocket them to the moon. I'm Head of Mission Control, Aaron Davis, and this week we're continuing our exploration into the metaverse along with Senior Investment Analyst of InvestorPlace.com, Luke Lango. As always, before we dive in, we'd love to continue to grow our channel here at Investor Place, so feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and smash that notification bell to stay up to date with us here at the Launchpad. With all of that out of the way, let's launch back one more time into the metaverse and see where it might take us. Last week, we looked at the metaverse as a whole as an investment opportunity with special guest Luke Lango, where we talked about the metaverse as a potential investment space. But this week, we wanted to look a little more in depth in metacoins. So without further ado, here's part 2. Luke, before we get started, I just want to personally, again, thank you for being here, and it's great to have you here.
It's great to be here, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Luke, as we jump into the cryptocurrency aspect of the metaverse, it seems that the experiences that these so-called metacoins are promising are a play-to-pay model, meaning it's a gamification space. Is that a fair observation, or are there more to these coins than what we're seeing right now?
I think that may be true, but I think there's much more than that when it comes to, you're calling them metacoins, metaverse tokens, whatever the buzzword is that we want to use. But I think that the blockchain offers an enormous value prop in the creation of metaverses. And that's because when you think about the metaverse is really just all about freedom. It's about creating a new virtual world free of big tech control, free of social hierarchies, free of incumbent structures that have held back socioeconomic mobility. It's about creating this new world, a fresh start, a fresh page, and writing the rules as we go. We get to create this world and define it for ourselves. If that world is created by a Facebook, if that world is created by a Microsoft, if that world is created by a Google, they're writing the rules. So this whole idea of creating another degree of freedom for humans is overridden by the fact that we're not actually writing the rules of the metaverse. It's being written for us. Whereas the blockchain allows us to actually create a truly free metaverse. We are the developers. We are the owners. We are the participants. We are the players. We get to write the rules of that metaverse. And so I believe that the creation of blockchain metaverses is going to be an enormous trend over the next several years. Not to say that Facebook's metaverse won't be big, that Google's metaverse won't be big. I think they will be big because they have hundreds of billions of dollars to spend on these projects, because they have the top engineers, the top coders, the top people on the planet working on those projects. So those metaverses are going to be very good. They're going to have high participation rates. But I think that there is a place, a quite large place, for the sustainable usage of blockchain metaverses for people that are truly seeking a free, independent experience that is not overloaded with ads. That is not where, the platform takes a 30% cut of revenues you make through the metaverse. So I think that those metaverses have a huge opportunity over the next few years.
So these coins, essentially what you're saying, offer a decentralized experience.
Yeah, well, what they do is, when you think about it, is someone has to create a metaverse, right? Someone has to create it. Facebook creates it because they're incentivized to create it by money, by dollars, by profits. And so they have to monetize the crap out of that metaverse. And so how do they monetize it? They monetize it by selling a bunch of ads. They monetize it by putting virtual salespeople in there. They monetize it by taking 30% cut on revenues generated by players in the game or something like that, right? So that's how they're going to monetize it. That inherently creates a negative user experience on the platform. If everywhere you turn there's an ad, right? The same reason we don't use Facebook, the app, anymore, because it's overloaded with ads, right? So that is a incentive break. Their incentives are not aligned with our incentives of creating the best platform possible. That's really not their incentive. Their incentive is to monetize the crap out of it. Now, cryptocurrencies, what they allow is for the incentives to be aligned. That the developers of a Decentraland or a Sandbox, they aren't forced to monetize the metaverse because their monetization is through the cryptocurrency, right? They're rewarded in cryptocurrencies. They're rewarded for staking, and the value of that crypto purportedly rises when usage of the platform rises, which is probably directly tied to the quality of the user experience. So as the user experience rises, usage rises, the value of the crypto rises, and those devs are rewarded handsomely. So their incentive structure, their financial incentive structure is directly tied to the creation of a best-in-class user experience on the metaverse. And so that's why we think that blockchain metaverses, ones built on top of, supported by cryptos, are going to be a massive thing in the next 10 years.
So is there a differentiation between these metaverse coins and traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Not particularly. It just, the projects are different. They are used exclusively to support the creation of a metaverse. Sandbox is used to support the Sandbox metaverse. Decentraland is used to support the Decentraland universe, metaverse. So there really isn't a fundamental technical distinction in those coins, just that their projects are different in the same way that Facebook stock is different than Nvidia stock.
Gotcha. And with so many coins seemingly coming up out of the woodwork now within the metaverse, how does one differentiate the good coins from the bad coins?
Well, it's funny you asked that, because this morning I was on a call with my team and we were just on coinmarketcap.com, and we realized that there is now a separate category for metaverse tokens. It's like the third or fourth across this horizontal scrolling bar. And you click it and you'll see dozens upon dozens of metaverse coins, metaverse projects, blockchain projects. And the simple reality here is that most of those tokens, 99% of them, I'd venture to say, will be busts and will fail, because that's just what happens in emerging industries. Look at the dot-com boom of the late 90s that bursted in 2000. You had hundreds of new startups just come to market, slap a .com on their name, and buy some domain space and say, hey, we're going to revolutionize the way you shop for pet goods, the way you shop for groceries, the way you shop for X, Y, Z, so on and so forth. And 9 out of 10 of those projects fizzled out and died. They were unable to execute. They were unable to find the capital to fund their heavy losses in the early days, and they fizzled out and died. But you also had Amazon come out of that time. You also had Google come out of that time. You also had eBay come out of that time. Intel. So you did have enormous success stories. Same is going to be true in the metaverse. You're going to look at the metaverse tokens today, and in 10 years, 9 out of 10 of those tokens will no longer be around. But 1 out of every 10, maybe less, will become an enormous winner, because they're going to dominate and consolidate the industry. There are a few tokens that we really like. What do you look for? I'm not going to say the names right here. It'd be unfair to our paid subscribers. But what are we looking for when we look for a good metaverse crypto? Is you got to look for the team. The team is super important here. You got to find the right devs behind it, the right people leading the project, the right people that will execute through this ball game, because we're in the top of the first inning of the metaverse ball game. And a lot can happen in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth innings. And if you don't have a good team to navigate through all the changes that are going to happen throughout this ball game, you're not going to make it. So you need a great team. That's the first thing we look for. We like to see proof of concept. There are a lot of projects out there that just have written white papers and said, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to launch this. We're going to have these things, but they don't actually have any of them today. They don't have any assets. So we want to find projects that have assets, projects that have actually built something that they can show us, that they can prove that, this is achievable, this is attainable. So those are pretty much the two main things we're looking for right now. And then we want to look for opportunities that have attractive market capitalizations. There are a lot of projects out there right now that have soared to multi-billion-dollar market caps, yet still haven't shown any progress, any physical progress with their metaverse developments. We want to find opportunities that continue to offer a attractive asymmetric risk-reward profile for us.
Well, Luke, thank you for helping us sort through the nuances of the crypto space in the metaverse. I know that our viewers will certainly benefit from it. Now, I know that you have a few projects in the works that aren't quite ready to be announced, but is there anything you want to tease our viewers and your fans with?
Well, Aaron, if our viewers like what they've seen in this interview and like what we have going on here, well, then I highly suggest that you stay tuned for some notifications and updates coming on this channel in the next couple of weeks. We got some stuff in the works, and I think it's pretty exciting. So stay tuned, and maybe we'll give you a New Year's gift come 2022.
Thanks again, Luke. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we have from the Launchpad this week. Special thanks to our guest, Luke Lango. For more content from Luke, you can head on over to investorplace.com, where he explores not just the metaverse and metacoins, but a wide range of innovations. And as always, check back with us here at the Launchpad, where we will continue to look for trends like the metaverse and metacoins. And as always, try to shoot for the moon.